2. We are back, and it's time now for day 2.
Yes.
Button the wrong. Snarf. We are now about ready to hop into our second game between Life and Minigun. If you just watched the first game, we kind of caught your comments in between. Some not so happy with Minigun's performance. Life kind of played standard. We're going to see what happens as we now move over to Daybreak. Saw a great game yesterday coming from Lenok using a really kind of interesting swarm host strategy and multi-pronged attacks. Are we going to see more of the same? Life so far playing a very standard style of game. That might be his approach to this competition. I'm not sure. Some players choose, like Lenok, kind of like, this is hard to swarm. I might as well go hard to swarm. Others, so far, kind of leaning on that Wings of Liberty skill set that they got.
Yeah, it's hard to make a read as to what kind of Life we're going to see in terms of Heart of the Swarm just off that one game, but I will say this, like I said, he's playing very intelligently. It's not by mistake that he's like, well, I guess I'll just play exactly like I did Wings of Liberty. I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying, this is my opener, and I'll make reads from that. And he spotted that early Nexus. He got the cancel, but he knew that when a Protoss throws down a Nexus to cancel it, they very rarely shift out of that. They're more likely saying, okay, I'll come back to that in about 10 seconds. And having that window of time to then go ahead and recalibrate what he wanted to do, it was all he needed as he showed up with more stuff than Chad Jones could deal with.
He was doing some damage initially with the Mothership core, taking out some drones, took out a Queen there. Had a slight advantage because the creep wasn't connecting the 3rd and the 4th, but I mean, at the point that was where the army was coming out, the Roaches and the Speedlings, all you needed to kind of close that book. Let's introduce our players in the northeast position as the Red Zerg. Up 1 game versus Minigun, it is Life. And in the southwest position, given this shot versus Life one more chance, it is Root Minigun.
Nice of Minigun to allow Life to win that first game so that it isn't that clean sweep. I guess we have his Twitter question answered. Minigun of a merciful god. Gonna go with the pile and expand here. One of the questions someone asked on Twitter when we were trying to fill time was, do you think Minigun will go with the Gateway expand versus the Forge expand? I do think that Minigun is very much so described as a Forge first, well, excuse me, a Nexus first, but a Forge expand kind of guy. Very rarely do you see that a Gateway expand style out of him, but we are seeing more of that out of the European players like Sase and Naniwa. Big shout out to Sase, by the way, who's about to do Battle of Tasia. It's going to be on the red stream for you guys. And as we had said earlier, any respectable internet denizen will have, of course, both streams open because, damn it, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. Exactly. First world problem is that you don't have 4 eyes. That's a shame. Now, I want to ask you a little bit because, you know, Baby Knight, for example, did open in base. And, you know, for any Zerg, it's like, okay, well, I guess I could go 3-hatch, but it could really, really screw me over big time. So then they stay on the 2, but some Zergs have found out, well, that's fine, I'm on equal bases, but here's what I can do to make sure I'm maintaining an advantage in this game. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you see any sort of dramatic shift in Heart of the Swarm avoiding sort of this expansion play from Protoss to force the Zerg to maybe try something different?
Well, I think it's a time of experimentation anyway, so you're going to see differences in that way. But I think the Mama-Ship core does encourage, I mean, there's risk-reward to both styles, either Forge first expansion or Nexus first versus Gateway expand. But I think the argument in favor of Gateway expand becomes a little bit more strong when you have the Mama Core to anchor that army. I mean, slowing so bad when they're getting hit by that Mama Core and they're trying to do battle with like a Zealot or Stalker. But then also, even those early Queens, picking off an early Queen can mean no creep spread like you were talking about, or precious injects on that 3rd base, which is the entire strength of going 3-hatch before gas. So that's where those things become a little bit more powerful, but we're not seeing that adaptation for Minigun just yet. It's the same style, but to your point, if he did go like 1-gate expand and sees this 3rd gasless hatchery, a 4-gate ain't too bad.
Right. All right, so we're about 4 minutes, 20 seconds into this game, and if you've seen his EVP on Daybreak before, you know exactly where we are at. Not a whole lot of deviation here as Minigun completes his wall at the front. We did have 1 probe out and about to check on the 3rd. He's now going to try to escape away. Mineral walking through those Zerglings, but is probably still going to take 1 last bite, possibly go down.
Sometimes they recharge in the last second.
He did recharge.
All right, he's saved.
He's saved. He's going to live another day. Meanwhile, Life, you know, already in a position where he was at before. He's got 23 drones, so 26 probes. And he's got this nice little Overlord coverage to make sure if anything comes through or any sort of attack, he's going to be ready for it. He's even got these lings outside. And as far as he knows, no pylon down outside. So, I mean, what do you think? What do you think we're going to see from Minigun here?
I would love to see just that Stargate opener that is so dominant. You either get out an Oracle, like we saw from Baby Knight, or you just go for the straight Phoenix. Phoenix getting that much better. I mean, I loved Youngwa's play at the IEM World Championship in Cologne just a couple weeks ago, or like a week and a half ago, I guess, where we saw 5 or 6 Phoenix just absolute, and they killed 20 drones each time. They killed Overlords. They got Queens. They made Rhett look like someone he's not. They made him look quite bad, and I love that kind of opener because it then also transitions into early Void Rays, and of course that's where a lot of Zergs think the imbalance lies. But no, we're going to get the Robo right now.
Yeah.
And Minigun, I mean, again, he's very successful, so he knows what he's doing, but I don't think we're going to see that Stargate at this point, and that's a shame for me.
Zergling's trying to munch on the shields of that Stalker. Stalker now going over to the third with the Mama Core behind it. There's not much other than the Queen and these Zerglings right now, but we're going to have more Zerglings on the way. Speed has just begun. Now he got that Mothership Core starting to do some damage, and the Stalker's going to go down quickly after a fast surround.
It's becoming more acceptable right now. But yeah, I mean, he's going to kill all the Zerglings. That's quite nice. Losing the Stalker was unnecessary, so that's where this becomes a little bit less awesome for Minigun, but the fact that he was able to kill all those Lings was still pretty good. We see more slow Lings coming out. He's not going to get the Queen. It's not possible. But as long as he doesn't lose this Stalker, this is still nice poking from Minigun. Yeah,
it needs to be careful. There's a couple more Lings still trailing behind. The Motion, of course, sees it too. And we could have the exact same thing off of this.
Life's about to hit like 1,000 minerals too. This is...
Yeah, he's just going to bust out 11 ton of units again.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, this is just... I mean, a ton of units. Like, there's the 1,000.
Yeah,
12 roaches, 8 Lings.
Yeah, and he's,
That's all his money. So he actually had that... What the hell? He had that planned out perfectly. It's 13 roaches, 8 Lings, 2 Overlords. Speed's about to finish. He's building a score card just to be safe. But that's all his money. I mean, I was looking at that and I was like, what? Did Life fall out of his chair? Someone get over there quickly. But no, he's totally fine. And there's the third Nexus. That's not good. I mean, he's got access to Immortals, but you still don't want that third Nexus if you're facing this.
Oh, they're going to run by. Now they're just going to try to munch on this Nexus, force out a cancel. The initial roaches are starting to make their way over. There's the cancellation. Now going to move in. Force fields are forced to go down, and both sentries. No, yes, both sentries. Oh,
really bad. Man.
Really, really bad.
Look,
and here
coming.
It comes. Deja vu. Yeah. Look at this. This
is good game.
9 roaches.
Yeah, I'm sorry to be anticlimactic, but there's so many buildings exposed. There's no ramp. Sentry's taking damage on the outside, but there's enough roaches here where the cannon is just a figment of our imagination. And he's going to knock on this door, and then he's going to blow it down, actually. He's just going to blow this grass hut down.
Yeah, there goes the pylon powering all these at the front. There's still one more there, but doesn't get the forge or the gateway. Not really mattering at this point because he's just like, how am I going to try to not die? There, the cybernetics core goes down. That's going to severely limit the units that can come in, and the Zerglings continue to swell. He's getting Burrow. He's getting +1 as well, and the roach speed. He's going to back off as Minigun does pull this off. Yeah.
He holds it down, and
I'm surprised Life just didn't go for the third. Frankly.
Well, that's a mistake, Wheat. The fact that Nexus is allowed to finish is a huge mistake.
Oh, wait a second. That's right. It was probably third base.
It might have, the timing might have come and gone. I mean, I was pretty severe when I said it's over at this point in time. I'm looking at that army right now, and I'm saying maybe not, especially with the Photon Overcharge, which is now going to be available in just a second.
He's going to have Burrow as well, which is going to help out quite a bit in the situation. He wants to continue to fight out. There's one Immortal coming out right now. An additional one on its way, and he's going to back off. So I do agree. I think he should have gone for that third base, and it was a mistake to kind of back off too much.
Well, he was thinking the same thing I was. I looked at it and I was like, this is over. The sentries got caught out just a little bit outside. DPS-wise, he had a single cannon, then he had like 6 sentries. Not a big deal, but Minigun holding it down, doing great micro. Now we're being Zealots. This is not a real attack force. This is, again, that kind of Wings of Liberty style where you move out, and you want to freak out the Protoss, get them to think that there's real aggression behind it. But as I say that, that production tab shows a maxing Zerg on Roaches.
Yeah, and check this out. He's sending one of these groups over to the third, those Roaches. Now he's moving in, forcing all of these force fields out. No, it doesn't even matter. The true attack is actually at the third. It's just a distraction. These units are going to get in here, but you see how badly he's thinned out Minigun. Now all the reinforcements going to that third, and with one Immortal, he just simply cannot hold this down, and this Nexus is going to fall.
Well, it's in danger, that's for damn sure. The Immortal in the back doing a lot of damage. Zealot's giving it the buffer it needs. It will die here.
Oh, yeah.
But
no,
only
he
after
holds on.
out the Roaches. And now the Roaches at the Natural are going ahead and attacking in. They're going to try to knock down that wall again. Minigun is microing in 2 different locations quite well. Photon Overcharge has been used a little while ago, and there's not enough energy on this Mama Core just yet. It's at 82 energy for the next Photon Overcharge. Roach is just crawling across the map. It's like watching Sim Ants if you were alive in 85 or somewhere around that era. And these Force Fields are going to try to hold down this Nexus here as well.
Yeah, and I might have prematurely called that Nexus. I just feel like overrun third, and we've got units coming in from all directions. And Life is really just macroing this game to victory.
He is.
He's just peeling off these units and taking them off, even burrowing when his units are getting low, and so much has been put into this defense at the third. Meanwhile, these Immortals starting to hold off this Natural. And
he's holding, but he's having a tough time retaining his sentries. Again with a Warping on the outside of his Nexus. I don't know why he keeps doing that. He already lost a few sentries doing that, but he's gonna hold this off. He loses another Immortal over at the third. There's a massive Roaches coming in on the Natural just now. There's 2 cans anchoring that location. Continuous Immortals coming off that Robo, but the supply, 150 for the Zerg versus just 100 for the Protoss. If Minigun can hold here, he's in good shape because tech-wise the Zerg, oh no, he's adding a Spire too on top of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just relentless aggression. Now all of these units, so many probes have been taken down trying to transfer that third, and there it is, GG. The third eventually goes down, but really hats off to Minigun for his attempted defense at it. I mean, it really was looking quite grim. Life continuing that pressure, but he did not give up. Moments of, is he going to do it? Thoughts overall?
He held on, and it was nice to see, because like I said, I was very fatalistic, if you will, at the beginning of saying, well, he's just dead right here. Knock, knock, it's over. And I was, making my jokes and whatnot. Minigun did hold on, but there's something at play right now that's very important to note. A lot of people are kind of hinting at this, and of course we're seeing the development of it here in this game number 2, but Life is playing an old school style. He's making Roaches and Lings. He's getting +1 attack. It's very reminiscent, not even of the most recent Wings of Liberty's ZVP style that kind of became the dominant form. It was before that. It was the Stefano style. It was the high aggression, I'm coming after you. Daybreak is, of course, the map that made that a reality. And Protoss have gone away from that. They're like, whoa, 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 I need time to tech. I need time to macro. I get my Nexus at like 8 minutes. And we're seeing old school Life dropping a deuce on Minigun right now.
Well, all right, guys. Well, we're going to be going into Game 3 in just a moment. Life versus Minigun continues after this commercial break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.